Hello, lovely friends. Welcome back to Belle's Library. I'm Heather, and today we are going to do a spoiler-filled vlog for House of Earth and Blood. This is going to be the first in a series of spoilery vlogs. If you missed my video talking about 10 of the big books that I would like to read this year, then you would have missed the fact that I'm going to do spoiler vlogs for all of those big books. So each month, at least 10 months out of this year, I didn't do one in January, so we're already down a month, I plan to read a book that is over 600 pages. It's to really just break out of this idea that I am just intimidated by larger books, and I just want to, be more comfortable reading them. But I thought it would be a really fun idea to also incorporate a spoiler-filled vlog for all of those books, and just, something a little different that I haven't done before, and I can share my experience reading these books and how I liked them, and if it's getting any less intimidating throughout the process here. So our first book, like I said, is going to be House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas. I still have not read this book, obviously, and the second book's coming out. Everybody's raving about it and talking about it, and I think when it came out in 2019, it was on the top list for, so many people here on BookTube. Everybody was like, this is my favorite book ever, and I was like, okay, maybe I am going to pick this up, because I really wasn't sure that I wanted to before that, but it's just been raved about so much that I'm like, I just need to pick this up and check it out, and so we're going to do that. And again, this is going to be spoiler filled, so I'm going to be reading it. If you haven't read it and you don't want spoilers, this is not the vlog for you. Go read the book, come back. Otherwise, if you've read the book and you just want a refresher, you just want to see my reactions while I'm going through, then this is the vlog for you. Before we get going any farther though, if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, I would love for you to just pop down there and hit that subscribe button really fast. Also, I have my Instagram, my Goodreads, and my Storygraph linked down below for you guys so we can talk bookish on all of the different platforms. I would absolutely love to have you, and so go ahead and do that really fast, and then let's talk about the synopsis of House of Earth and Blood. So in this book, we're following Bryce, and she basically gets paired with Hunt, who is an angel, and they are going to investigate Bryce's best friend's murders. They all got murdered one night, and she wants to figure out who did it, and she gets assigned to work this case with Hunt. And Hunt, he is assigned to this case because he has a deal with his boss that he can basically free himself from his boss's employment/enslavement if he figures out what's going on here and who did this and what happened. So that's kind of the journey we're following. It is a fantasy romance, so I'm assuming the two of them are going to have a romance unless there's some other romance going on. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the two of them though. And so we're going to be following an urban fantasy type world, and that's basically my knowledge. I believe it's kind of a city basically with different types of fae and angels, and I believe there's different shifters and just a lot of different types of creatures and people, and they're all living together in this urban city setting, and we're trying to figure out what happened to Bryce's friends and help her through this process, because I'm sure that that's quite an earthquaking moment to have your friends murdered, So anyways, that's what we've got going on. So let's go ahead and just pop into the vlog footage and see how this is going.
So please excuse the fact that the first time I'm talking to you, I look a hot mess, and the lighting in this car is ridiculous and I cannot find a good spot. I'm sorry, okay? But I just have been really struggling to vlog and pick up my camera, and I kind of am like, you need to just get over it. And so that's what I'm doing. Just wanted to say I've read one chapter of House of Earth and Blood. That's it, just one chapter. It was a lot, and like, there's just so much information you're being given all at once about the world and the characters and all of these different, like, factions, and, like, I don't know. It was a lot to handle, and I'm reading it on an ebook, and I think not being able to flip to, like, the map and some of the more reference stuff is a little bit of a struggle, so I think I might try and pick up the book from my library if I can, just to be able to have that physical reference and stuff. So yeah, I know that once I kind of get into it and really get moving, I'm sure I will catch on to whatever the heck is going on. But that first chapter, I was like, okay, you are reading too many other books to, like, try and dive into this world right now. So let's wrap some other stuff up and then we're going to come back to this. So I don't have a ton to say. I just wanted to say hey and just kind of get myself in the vlogging mood so that I can get going in this book soon. I am almost done with, a couple other books right now, so I'm gonna try and wrap those up so I can really dive into this and we can get into this vlog. So I am sitting here in bed. I ended up picking up the physical book of this guy so I could flip them back and forth to the map at the beginning and all that good stuff. But I've read one more chapter since last time I talked to you. I also reread the first chapter, but I just have thoughts, and if I'm going to make sure to mention this before this, but I'm telling you guys again, this is a spoiler vlog, so there's not a lot of spoilers yet because I'm only 2 chapters in, but I will be talking spoilers, so just so you know, if you haven't read this, if you don't want to be spoiled for things, then just don't keep going. But anyways, still very much feeling that vibe of just lots of world building and info dumping right now. It's making me move very slowly through the beginning of this, so I'm really hoping that some of this is going to pay off in the end, and that it's just kind of, we've just got a large world to build right now, but there's just a lot of, like, different areas of the city they're in and different pieces of magic and a lot of different, like, fae and werewolves and vampires and I don't know, all kinds of stuff going on. Yeah. So I am just trying to kind of wrap my head around all of it. But the reason I wanted to say something to you guys right now is the synopsis of this book says that Bryce, our main character, is trying to avenge her best friend's being murdered. And I am starting to really like Danica and her mood and attitude. Sorry if you can hear my husband talking to his game right now. Is she gonna die? I'm already getting attached to her, so I don't want her to die. But I think she's gonna get murdered. And I'm not happy about it. Excuse me, Miss Maas, but you are not allowed to do this. You cannot kill some of these characters that somehow within 50 to 60 pages you have decided to make me care about. And I am not happy about it. I liked Danica. She seemed like she was going to be a really badass chick. And I liked Connor. He seemed like he was going to be really cute, and I liked the flirty banter going on between him and Bryce. And I liked Bronson and his I want to be pretentious and like documentaries and mead and weird stuff, and just what are you doing to me right now? I am not very happy. Okay? Like, I'm on page 62 here. We are not far into this book. It's 800 pages. And what just happened? What just happened? Well, hello guys. So I just have a smidge of updating to do in here. I am on page like 150. So I'm making a little bit of progress, a small little dent in this guy. Not too much though yet. Yeah, it's slow moving. I actually paused for a couple days to do a buddy read with Alita, and now I'm back at it. So we're gonna start moving through this. But I was kind of surprised. After last time I updated you, we actually jumped 2 years ahead, and I didn't realize that was going to happen because we're talking about like investigating the death of Danica is kind of like the main synopsis that Bryce and Hunt are going to join up and do this. And I'm like, now it's been 2 years, so what? So, but we just found out why how they kind of came back to, we need to solve this crime and we're going to do this together. And I will say that we're getting a little bit more into Hunt's character, and at the moment, I'm not really enjoying it a ton. I'm assuming we're going to find some things to redeem him, but like some of the shit he does is just mean and awful and evil, and like the fact that he just goes out and kills people, even if they do deserve it, I don't know, like, but just in such brutal ways, like some of the things he's talking about, I'm like, you are a freaking warrior. I don't know. I'm just not used to how cutthroat some of this is, I guess. But yeah. And what else is going on? So yeah, kind of surprised that honestly they believed that one human guy that was going to bomb things and got put in jail by Danica and then was released like right before they were killed was actually like they put him in jail for it. I really didn't think that he did it. So yeah, obviously he didn't, because now this demon has been released again and killed another person. So obviously that just, I mean, could definitely tell that he was not the one who actually did this. So I am kind of curious who actually has done this. And I'm also kind of curious about Jezebel. Is that how you say her name? Her story. Because we kind of like have the story that somehow she left the witches, or she was disowned by the witches, or some reason she left the witches, and now she is more into necromancy, or is it sorceress? Sorry, so many different like terms and like species. I don't know, like different types of people in this story, and it's just trying to keep it all straight is a lot sometimes. But now she's like, totally changed houses, and I don't know, I'm curious about her story and if we should be trusting her or not. Like, is she kind of one of those people that is a part of House in Flame and Shadow, but really like you can kind of trust her, or is she just like, she's really that dark and we really shouldn't? I don't know. But I also just kind of want to get a little bit more of her backstory. We did get a little bit more of Hunt's backstory about, how he was a part of the rebellion, and shocker that he was like in love with the twin sister of the archangel that's coming. Yeah, I think that's going to get really interesting really soon. But I mean, other than that, it's not like anything super crazy has happened. We're just like kind of just building some more, talking some more about what's going on, and they literally are just about to kind of get started. They just got this mission to figure out who actually killed Danica and her pack, and that's what's going on. So,
hey guys, so it's been a little bit since I updated. I got rather sick. I just can't read when I'm sick, and yeah, so I was really kind of struggling to get going any farther in this book. After I just really started getting into it and was like making some progress, I just kind of, I like sat down and I think it was like Friday, and I was like, oh, today I am going to finish this book. Like, I just really want to just get into it. I have time today, and I'm just going to sit and I'm going to like just have a day, and I'm just going to finish this sucker, right? So I'm like doing my thing and reading that morning, and I got through like a decent chunk that morning, and then like my stomach starts hurting a little bit after lunch, and I was just like, it's fine. And then like I think I fell asleep at like 1 o'clock and just like passed out for a nap for a few hours, and then I just woke up and I was like, I am not feeling good. And then I just couldn't concentrate. And I tried to read through the weekend, and it was just like, I was just sick and I was sleeping and I just couldn't concentrate. And then I felt like I wasn't enjoying it because I was trying to like force myself. And that is never good when you're, kind of forcing yourself. So then I took a break and I read some other stuff. Started another book. But I'm on page 489. So and it's almost 800 page book. So I'm almost 60% into the book. So I am making some decent progress. And I tried to make a few little notes on my phone for just like thoughts and stuff. But it's also been a couple days since I've actually read this book. So I'm kind of like not fully in the world at the moment in my brain. But let's talk. Let me look at my little notes on my phone. I think most of these notes I wrote down when I was probably a little under halfway into the book. So let's see. I just had a ton of questions. Like that was a big part of what was going on for a chunk of this book, around like a little before halfway to a little after halfway. So I had, how is Roone's Starlight used? And why is it important to the story and him when he doesn't really use it? So like he doesn't really have a lot of Starlight, and I was just like, but how does he use this? What, like, can I get more information on this? And I feel like I don't know how he uses it really. It doesn't sound like he really does because he has so little of it. But and that could be why he doesn't really use it. But I can understand now, as we've been looking for Luna's horn, and it seems like that's like a big integral part of something with the story, because we're following basically like Danica and her pack were like at the temple, and they were supposed to be like in that area, guarding that area. That was their district area that night that they got after they got murdered. And a lot of people who were either working in the temple that night, just so you know, there's like a blackout, and then Luna's horn got stolen, and it was like a couple days before the murders happened. If you haven't read and you're just listening to this and you want some context. But basically, like, some of the other people from that night that like worked there or were around that area seemed to be ending up dead. And so it seems like it's connected to the Starlight, because that's what kind of formed it in the first place, were some other people that had the Starlight like a long time ago. And he has an extra ability to find Luna's horn because things will call out to him more. So I think that's where that kind of comes in. Then I asked, did Bryce go to the Oracle at 13? That was also answered. So she did, and it sounds like it was quite the story going on, and like the Oracle like clawed her eyes out and like crazy stuff going on. And she met like one of the princes of the underworld during that time as a cat. And I think there's going to be more details, but we're slowly getting a little bit of information on that. What is the deal with this horn? We've definitely gotten more information since then about Luna's horn. And now, like, a big reveal recently was that Danica and her pack stole the horn. So what? Where did they put it? And why were they stealing it? Were they stealing it to protect it? Or did she have more going on that Bryce didn't know about? But Bryce is so sure that, like, they talked about everything and they were so close. So it was just so devastating for her to find out that she wasn't, you know? And I really believe that they had that kind of relationship. And so maybe like Danica was trying to protect her and want her to like know about all of that and everything going on there. I don't know, but definitely like questioning Danica a little bit right now. Like, what are your motives? What's happening? I put down, why is Hunt blaming himself for Bryce's leg? Because he kind of mentioned like that he felt like it was his fault when she'd be limping and stuff. And I was like, well, he didn't call this monster. This is really hard to do from this little thing. Hold on. So yeah, I was like, you didn't release this monster. You didn't claw her leg. I don't understand why you're blaming yourself. It kind of came out later that he's the one who put like the staples in her leg and to close it up and stuff. And so he's like somehow blaming himself for it. I don't know. Kind of silly if you ask me. And then I just put a note. Roone can fix the horn. I don't really know what I was thinking there, but I do believe that he can probably fix the horn. And he's working on it, and he's trying to figure that out, but they don't even have the horn yet, so we'll see. Maybe when he touches the horn, it's gonna like give him more power, and they're gonna be a conduit to each other or something. Maybe, I don't know. And Hunt and Bryce are getting friendly and cute, but also I miss Connor a little bit. So I just am enjoying the fact that Hunt and Bryce, some of their relationship, they're starting to like like each other and let each other like each other, and I'm enjoying having a little bit of that romance put in there, and just I think it's cute, and I'm definitely coming around to Hunt more. I know before I was kind of like, I don't know about this guy, but no, I definitely can see like some of that softness underneath him that, you know, he's just been kind of forced into some of this stuff, and he doesn't necessarily want to do it all, and you know, just because he's good at it, why does he have to do it, you know? So, yeah, I definitely am appreciating their relationship coming along a little bit here and enjoying that piece. I will say, I think one of the most surprising things that happened recently was that we had, oh gosh, totally lost my train of thought there. We had stuff happen, you guys. Stuff happened. Oh, the attack. The like demon attacked Hunt and Bryce, especially Hunt was like going after him, and Hunt like was able to take down this demon, and it just seemed like it was way too easy. Like, how could Danica and her pack not be able to take it down? And I kind of had the inkling that there's somebody else there a while back with the tapes and stuff. Like, somebody else was there during their murders, like that they were actually like talking to, and I don't know, it just seemed like there's something more going on there, that it wasn't just this demon. So kind of curious there. I don't know. And I'm still kind of curious about Jessica. I don't really feel like we talk about her much, but I feel like she's going to have more to play than she has so far. So I am waiting for her to kind of get in there a little bit and give me something intriguing. So yeah, I'm intrigued, and right now, like, I'm probably gonna get back into the story soon. I'm gonna try and finish up the other book that I started. I just needed a break because I didn't want to not enjoy this because I was sick and like kind of forcing myself. So that's kind of, you know, I took a minute, and that's okay. And I'm gonna come back to it, and it's gonna be a good time. But that's where I'm at with Crescent City at the moment, and I've been trying to avoid all info about the second book that just came out because everybody's talking about it and putting up all these vlogs about it and this and that, and I'm like, I can't know anything. Leave me alone. All right, guys. So I'm kind of not getting through this very well. It's been probably like a couple weeks since I've talked to you guys about this book, and I just didn't want to get back into it, and I feel kind of bad about it. So, yeah, I don't know. I kind of got stuck after I got sick, and I don't know if I don't want to continue in this book, like if that's what put me in a slump with this book, was being sick, or if I'm just really not vibing with it. I just feel like everybody's loved this book so much, and I'm kind of like, it's okay. But I mean, I guess some juicier stuff's starting to happen, and so I'm trying to get into it and through it a little bit more, and I really am going to try and finish it up maybe today, if I can. But I read another like 125 pages last night, and I am now at page 622 here. So, yeah, I mean, I'm working on it. I'm working on it. And I don't know, maybe it's just too big of a book for me. I really don't know. As I'm just getting on this journey of really trying to get into bigger books like this, we'll have to see the next few months if it's just something that I am not into or not. I'm not sure. Or maybe I'll end up really enjoying this through the end or something. It could totally have been my mood and getting sick and everything in the middle of it. I don't know. But I have a few thoughts. Just so you know, there may be some background noise from my husband. He's playing a video game right next to me, and that's just life at the moment. We live in a very small space for the time being, but got a few thoughts. First off, the scene with them removing the poison from her leg, because they were like, oh, you know, this big wound that was made by the Crystallos demon probably still has some of the poison in there, and they can use that to make an antidote for the big synth drug. Like, that scene was pretty gnarly. Like, she definitely, I don't know, I feel like she probably could have played out the pain a little bit more, but like, it was a good bonding moment, I felt like, between Hunt and Bryce, and I just remember thinking, gosh, I can't even imagine, like, getting just cut open and just having stuff that's been in my body for 2 years and having to come out, and it just sounded really painful. I will say though that it was a little bit like the lead up to it was kind of dragged out and ridiculous. I was like, oh, we're gonna be like, oh, we need some more of this Crystallis venom. I wonder where we're gonna get it. And like literally a scene before we're talking about how she might still have some in her leg, but we still had to play it out for like a few chapters there, saying that where are we gonna get this? It was just like, obviously we know where we're gonna get this, so can we just kind of skip over this and move on? I don't know. So that was a little bit like, come on, you're being too obvious, you know? So then, the scene with Hunt's wings, oh my gosh, that was a lot. I was like, I could like feel the pain of that, like that was just, I was not expecting that. I was like, what is this? Was it the eternal death or something? Or, I don't know, I was not expecting that at all. I wonder what they did with his wings. I'm kind of curious, but that sounded awful. But I feel like that really like started melding and really like bringing out some of the really just awful things about the way their world and government and everything is run, and people who have too much power in their world, and just, I don't know, it's been slowly trickling through, but I feel like that was just like a catapult of like, this is completely wrong and inappropriate and like crazy, you know, like it just can't imagine anything like that happening in a world that's actually like fair and just ever. And then the last little bit that I read last night was when Hunt got caught with the synth and like buying it, and like that whole scene went down. Oh my gosh, I was just like, what? How is this even a thing? So I don't think that, I don't know, there's a lot more going on with that than I think we're being told as of yet. Like the fact that Danica's death was her own fault and like she killed her pack and all of that came out, I don't think that's what actually really happened. Like I just don't believe that. I also think that Justinian's and Victoria's deaths and the way that they went about that were brutal, and that was so extra. Oh my gosh. Definitely like starting to amp up with some of that stuff, but just the fact that Hunt never told Bryce for a couple of weeks there, it seemed like. He sounded like he knew about Danica's death for quite a while there. Didn't say anything to her about it. Like, I was just, that's messed up. Like, but I also just, I have a feeling that there's more to the story and that we don't actually have the truth, even though everybody's believing that that's the truth. So yeah, that's kind of how I'm feeling about the situation there, but that's a big trust, like, splitter there. I'm kind of curious as to if we are going to continue liking Bryce in the future with, or Bryce Hunt in the future with Bryce, or if we're going to have, like, somebody else kind of coming in. I don't know. So I guess that's my thoughts at the moment. Definitely getting a little more brutal. We're getting a little bit more of the dark side of this world and the government and everything there. And so that's, I mean, I guess some of the plot stuff's getting a little more interesting because we are building up to some stuff, which is great. We've done some world building, and now I'm like, let's get into the juice of it. But there's definitely still some more reveals coming. I'm pretty sure that I will be shocked, and I'm just really hoping that I enjoy this more, because honestly, at this point, like, I'm almost done with this book, and I feel like I enjoyed ACOTAR and Throne of Glass both more than this at this point. But I just feel bad because I don't know if it's my mood and the way that this book just fell in the middle of me getting sick, so I don't know. And I think, I don't know. We'll see how the end goes. I'm just not, like, totally entranced by it. And it could be the hype, too. Like, maybe this was just really hyped up for me, and I'm just not quite hitting that hype. We'll find out. Okay, I finished it. So many thoughts. What? Like, this ending was definitely surprising, and I'm just like, but Micah was behind Danica's death? Like, I was not expecting that at all. And then everything with Bryce and the Starlight power, and now she's got all this, like, power going on, and what? And Hunt's halo's gone, and he's free. was not expecting that. Oh my gosh, just so much just happened in the past, I don't know what I say, like 150 pages since last time I updated you. I'm reeling still a little bit from it. I'm just like, how did this just happen? And we lost La Hava, and I'm just like, no, I loved her. She was so sweet. And Bryce like paid to free her. Man, and throughout this book, I've really wanted to hear more from Jezebel and get more of her story, and we just got a little bit of her at the end, and then that like epilogue and stuff. And now I'm kind of curious about the Prince of Hell and how he is going to kind of work in here. But I'm hoping in this next book that we get more from Jezebel's story, because she did just something more going on. Oh, and then freaking the queen of the witches is the Med Witch? What? Oh my gosh, so many surprising things. Anyways, I will update you guys one last time to wrap everything up. But yeah, that's where we're at. Okay, really quick, just came back to wrap things up. I went ahead and ran through Compile what I wanted to rate this. I really wasn't sure. I had quite the journey, as you can see, with this book. I was kind of enjoying getting into it a little bit at the beginning, but then it was like feeling like it was kind of getting long, and then I got sick, and then it was like I never wanted to pick it up again, and I was kind of just struggling to get back into it until like probably the last 150 to 200 pages, and then I was just like, what is happening? Oh my gosh! And then I was like feeling super invested and like into it. I think one thing that like I'm really bummed about is that some of the characters that I personally really liked are dead. Like I would have loved to have had more Danica in the story. Or there's characters like Jezebel that I'm really curious about that we just haven't gotten very much of, but I want to know more. I want more of Queen Hypaxia. I don't know. So some of these other characters I really just want more from, and so hopefully in the future books, like it's gonna get even more better. But I landed rating wise at a 4-star because I just couldn't give it a full 5-star because it definitely was having a hard time getting through some of this book, and I don't know if it was the book or me kind of a thing, but I just couldn't quite get to that 5-star, and I'm throwing it through Compile, and we just ended at a 4. There's a few things I don't know. I didn't, but I rated like the intrigue kind of low, and my overall enjoyment, I couldn't quite really give it a really solid one because there were parts that I just felt a little sluggish with. And some of the stuff she lays out there is just very obvious. Like, I know where you're going with this, but then she had so many surprises at the end too that I wasn't expecting at all. So I don't know, I'm just all over the place with this book. And I think that I would like to reread it. Like, give me, 6 months and I want to reread it when I don't get sick. And maybe like on reread, it's going to go up and I'm going to enjoy it more. And then I can get into the next book and like, we can get a little more immersed in the world there. But yeah, 4 stars for me. I definitely enjoyed it. There was lots of stuff that really like I enjoyed. I just didn't connect to it as much as I would have liked to. And that's just kind of how it went for me. So I guess that's it, guys. Definitely, if you guys have made it this far, leave me a red emoji. Anything red down below, because there's a ton of red on this cover and we're going to make that work. So let me know you're here, and if you have other thoughts about this series, just the first book, please do not spoil me for anything in the second book because I still want to read it. Let me know and talk to me down below, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye, guys!